Hello, welcome to Life Coaching on the Move. I am so thrilled that you are here listening to this today. If you are new, welcome along. I'm delighted that you found this podcast. My name is Fiske. I'm your host. This podcast is full of practical tips and techniques that I use with all of my clients on a daily basis and on myself actually. I am still in work in progress. Everything that I cover in these podcasts I apply to myself, have done or am currently or am working through myself as well, because it's never a destination that we reach. We're always growing, we're always developing, we're always improving, me included. So I am learning. When I'm recording these, I'm not just talking to you, I'm actually talking to my own subconscious as well, and it's always a little refresher for me too. Today's podcast is about the power of the written word. It's got lots of little practical techniques in this one. It's a great little episode, this. I hope you find it useful. If you do, please share it with all of your friends. Put it on your social media, because it could well be that this is the answer for one of your friends right now. It could be just what they need. I hope so. If you want to send me any topic requests, please do, or any feedback at all. I'd love to hear from you. If you're one of my regular listeners, you know you're very welcome. I love it that you keep coming back. So thank you so much. I genuinely mean that. As you know, I don't write this down, I don't edit, I don't do any of that. That's just me talking from the heart. With that in mind, I just need to mention that halfway through, or a few minutes through this little episode, there is a slight break in it, so bear with me, it comes back. It's just that I had a delivery of dog food right in the middle of recording this, so you may well hear the dog barking in the background. Just bear with me, there's just a 1 minute little blip, but it's worth it. So enjoy this episode, and let's crack on. So today I'm talking about the usefulness and the power in the written word. I know I've done podcasts previously on the power of correct communication. When I say correct, I mean effective communication or strong, confident communication in terms of the words that we use and how tweaking those words can change how we feel, how we communicate, and how others respond to us. And if you haven't listened to that episode, it's definitely worth going back and finding that one. But today in particular, I'm focusing on the written word because I know how powerful that is as an activity for many of my clients in many different ways. And so for you, in order to it's a bit preemptive really, in order for you to avoid needing perhaps the help of somebody else to get you out of a difficult time, it might be in advance start doing this. And what I mean here is to treat yourself. You know me, I think self-care is important, so we are worth investing in. So for a very small investment, I would strongly recommend going and buying yourself a lovely notebook, really lovely one that you like, maybe a new pen. Treat yourself. That could become your working tool. Whenever I'm about to work with somebody new, a new one-to-one coaching client, I always drop them an email suggesting or asking them to bring along with them a new notebook and pen, which will be dedicated to the whole coaching process. That is their working tool. But you don't need to necessarily enter into one-to-one coaching unless you want to, in order to feel the benefits of this. Now, I never quite know what they are going to use that notebook for. It can be for taking notes, but it can mostly be for the in-between activities between sessions, because the coaching itself, the hour that we're working together, is not the time when a client does most of the work. That's not when the work is happening. Yes, we cover lots of subjects, and yes, we cover lots of strategies and techniques and things like that, but the real work goes on when they're back out in their real lives, facing the challenges that they've been discussing, or facing the confidence crisis that they're battling through, or trying to work through the issues or achieve the goals that all of the things that they've been discussing within the one-to-one coaching. That's when the real work goes on. So that book becomes a bit of their tool. And so often I'll set them tasks to make a note of things. In fact, just this morning I was working with a client where, classic example really, she has gone away to write down things that she notices on the subject that we were coaching around, because, and I'll tell you why, and it's worked for me on many occasions as well. You often don't see patterns until you've recorded it all down. You've got your data, and that's true in most lines of work actually. You need it all written and recorded, and you spot patterns. One of the older examples I've got of this is when I was a new mum, and you know that I've got teenagers now, but when I was a new mum and trying to find my way, trying to get into some sort of normality and some sort of routine, I didn't really know what I was doing. I remember thinking, right, I'll just write it all down. I'll write down what I'm managing to achieve through the day, from the start of the day through, and try and establish some form of routine and work out what I can best achieve at different time slots. So actually I wrote down everything, mostly that the baby was doing, you know, when the baby was feeding, when the baby was having his nap, how long Josh was sleeping for. This was when my oldest was born, etc. So I wrote it down, and within about 3 days, it only took about 3 to 4 days of me recording everything, just jotting it all down really quick, not lengthy or anything. I didn't really have the time, just jotting it all down. I realised, oh my word, we are in a routine. He has established a routine. By writing it down, I noticed. So he wakes at about whenever it is, first thing in the morning, and our day starts, and I let him kick on the change mat for a while and get him dressed and change his nappy, and he has that first feed, and not in that order, and then he goes to sleep at sort of 8:30, 8:45 for a short nap, an early morning, mid-morning, depending on when he woke, nap. And then he has the morning of activities. Maybe I take him to baby swimming or baby singing or baby whatever the group was at the time, mum and toddler group, baby coffee morning, those sorts of things. And then he has a big long feed and a 2-hour lunchtime nap. And then he has some activity, bouncing in the bouncer or something like that, hanging on the door thing, or in his little swing, so on. And then he goes back and has a little short nap, a 20-minute nap again at about sort of 4:30, 5 o'clock. And then he has bath, and he's asleep by about 7 o'clock. And I noticed, okay, so if he has that little morning nap, that's the time that I could have my shower. Quickly make the beds, have a shower, and scoff a bowl of cereal. So I knew then that I had a little bit of routine. I noticed if he has roughly a 2-hour sleep at lunchtime, that's the time when I can do my studies, because that was exactly the time I decided to do some more coaching training and qualify as a coach at the time. So I was doing my assignments and my studies and things like that in the 2-hour window that I had at lunchtime. And then, of course, the 4:30, 4:45 nap, 20 minutes. I could chop up some onions and things like that and put dinner, a pan of bolognese or something like that on the back burner just to be bubbling away. So dinner was done, so that I could then play with him, entertain him a little bit, bath him, wind him down, get him ready for 7 o'clock, feed and bed, and we would be able to have dinner. So I got myself, as a result of finding out by writing it down, that he'd got himself into, or we had got ourselves into, a bit of routine. I didn't even realise that. I didn't have the oversight or the ability to see the big picture all the time. I was the in-doing. And what writing things down gets us out, it takes us out of the context. It's a little bit like standing in a storm or watching it from the window behind the glass and under the roof and in the protection of good weather. You can a good environment rather, looking at bad weather. So you can witness the storm, but you don't have to be in it. So this is a bit like that. You can take a step back and write it all out, and then you get the big picture. You can look at it and see a pattern. And that's what's so great about writing things down. You spot patterns. And another client that I've been working with recently has been struggling with a little bit of seasonal affective disorder, low-grade depression. It's that time of year. Sleep has been affected, so not sleeping well during the night, so having a nap in the afternoon. She's an older lady, she's napping in the afternoon, she's all out of sorts, she's low and she's struggling. So I asked her to write it all down, write down each day. What time does she wake in the morning? What sorts of things is she eating and when? How long is she napping for in the afternoon? How she's feeling each day. So a mood diary as well as activity and sleep diary. And she did that for a week or two and sent it through, or we were working one-to-one together. And we were working through it when we spotted quickly a pattern. On the days that she had long naps, she wasn't sleeping well. Now that may not have been cause and effect. She was having a long nap because she was tired. But on the days where she was busier, so that she couldn't have a nap, even irrespective of whether she'd slept well or not the night before, the following night she would sleep a lot better, which meant she woke more refreshed. When she was more refreshed, she was in a better mood, etc., etc. So we quickly determined that actually she was better off not having a long nap. She was better off having a tiny nap, just a short nap. Then she would sleep much better. Then she could wake earlier. She also spotted that on the mornings when she woke earlier, she felt a lot happier. She got much more done. She loves to get up at 5 a.m. and do a couple of hours sorting in the house and getting on top of things before her husband gets up because they're retired. So she wanted that quiet time, 2 hours, and she felt better for that. She felt a sense of achievement for that. So that would put her in a good mind frame as well. So very, very quickly, she made herself, even if she didn't wake, she would set her alarm to wake at 5 every morning. Now that might sound grim for most of us, but there is a lot to be said for that actually, for shaking off depression. So early starts for her. She got on with things. She felt in control. She felt more organised, a sense of achievement, much better mood. Her husband would then get up. They'd have a much better day. She wouldn't nap, or if she did just a short nap, she would eat better as a result because her sleep and her mood were much better. So she felt better in her physical being because of eating healthier. And so she broke that whole pattern, but only by actually writing it down and seeing a pattern. So it's got that use, but also it's got the use of, there's so many uses here. So you might just journal how you're feeling. So it might just be that. It might not be an actual breakdown of your activities. It just may be a record of how you're feeling and why. So another client that I've been working with just very recently has been writing down each day at work and how she's feeling at work, because we're working on her self-esteem and her confidence around colleagues and things like that, and her belief in her own ability and performance at work. And she's noticed certain patterns there, that when she overanalyzes how she's doing, puts herself down about what results she's getting, and her performance compared to others is lower, she feels less able, etc., etc. But she's realized it's all in the thoughts she's running. She's writing her thoughts down. She's saying this to herself. She's saying that to herself. And actually, when we see what we're saying in our heads written on black and white, it really hits us hard between the eyes. It really is very powerful. If you record your thoughts or what your chatterbox is saying to you, your pattern thinking, your internal dialogue, that parrot on your shoulder chats and chats and chats all day to you, then if you record what sorts of things that person is saying, or that voice is saying, you realize, oh my God, really? Am I really saying this? Is it that negative? Is my chatterbox really saying these awful things? Would I say those things to my best friend? Absolutely not. Why am I saying this to myself? Why am I putting myself down? So on and so on. So by writing down what sorts of thoughts you're running in your head, that just seeing it in print can be incredibly powerful. I know I've said in previous podcasts that writing down your goals and your aims and your plans is incredibly powerful. It has been proven over and over and over again that if you commit your goals and your plans to the written word, or type it or whatever, if you record them down, type them out or write them out, you are far, far more likely to achieve them than if they just were around in your head as a bit of a dream that just whizzes around on fast spin cycle. Again, advocating the power of writing and recording things down. Is something in taking the time and the commitment to that task that shows more commitment perhaps to your subconscious, more commitment to those goals. So it's much, much more powerful. Write it down, break it down, or do a mind map, put the central goal in the middle and some branches off it, like a spider diagram, and put all the elements, break down all the milestone achievements around it that you need to do in order to fulfill and achieve that main goal. So whatever you like, whether you like it nice and visual, lots of colours, get the felt pens out or something, or do it through technology. There's loads of mind map apps that you can get on the computers now, so you can complete it all there and print it off and have it on your wall as a visual reminder. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter the process. So for that reason, for seeing what your mind is thinking, it can help you lift your confidence, it can help you lift your self-esteem and your belief, it can help you lift your performance, it can help you attain your goals by writing it down. It can help you with definitely in time management. If you write all your goals down for tomorrow, if you do a to-do list and plan your day for tomorrow, or first thing in the morning you plan it for today, again, you're much, much more likely to stay on task, on track, within the time frame than if you just have no plan at all. So again, there's more evidence to show that the written word helps you. So all in all, it is definitely worth doing. It has been found to reduce stress. If you're struggling with stress, then you sit down and just spend 10 minutes a day. That's all I'm saying here, 10 minutes a day, preferably the last thing at night. I say this to clients a lot, last thing at night, because it's actually stress relieving. It's actually a little bit of mindfulness because you have to be very present while you're doing it. So that's very good for stress relief and for anti-depression, or sort of an antidote to depression. If you do it last thing at night, you've got all day to sort of work out things that you're going to record, and last thing at night, by doing that, it puts you in a better frame of mind for a good night's sleep, instead of that little voice in your head beating you up about all the things you've messed up on or forgotten, or that critical voice. So I find doing this last thing at night, just before the light goes off, nice and warm, in bed, snuggled up with my nice book, 10 minutes, just recording what you've done today, what you've achieved, how it's felt, any issues that you had during the day, any struggles, any things you overcame, things like that. And you will begin to see a pattern. You will see there are days where you feel really strong in yourself, really confident in yourself. You're flying, you're doing really well. God, I've got this mastered. Other days, you will write down, it's been a bad day, I've struggled with this, I've struggled with that, I don't know what's wrong with me. But by writing it down, you will spot a pattern. What is the difference on the bad days compared to the good days? What happened? What was the difference that made the difference? And it is incredibly powerful to write it down. It's as effective, in a sense, is on a par with talking about it to a good friend or a coach or a counsellor or somebody, because you get it out from whirring around in your head, just whirring around and dragging you down. You get it out, and that's what I say about coaching. The power of coaching is that I don't believe we just don't know what we're thinking until we hear ourselves say it. So that's one of the things that makes coaching so powerful and so useful and life-changing, because people hear themselves say this and a light bulb goes on. People hear and admit how they're feeling. They realize for themselves, it's a learning for themselves. So talking it through is definitely, what do they say? A problem shared is a problem halved. Absolutely right. Or writing it down, you can glean some insight into it and some evidence and some patterns. And then you can start thinking about what to do about it and how to improve that. Or talk to a coach about what to do about those elements that you found. Other things that I might set clients in terms of written, if they're struggling with confidence, then I will get them to write out in their journal or their book or whatever you want to call it, your tool, each night before they turn the light off, 10 things I am most proud of today. So 10 things that they've done, or they've overcome, or they've made themselves think and squash down the negative thoughts or whatever. 10 good things about them. Not that the neighbour gave them a nice cup of coffee and that was a lovely time. Not something else that my husband cooked me a lovely dinner and it really cheered me up, because that's not in our control. It's 10 things that you've done that you're really proud of. I smiled to that lady in the supermarket even though I was really feeling grumpy. I let that person out on the traffic even though I was really rushed, and it made me feel good. They gave me a nice smile and raised their hand, and it was good. Or I was feeling lack of confidence today and very nervous about going in to see that customer, but I gave myself a real firm pep talk, put a big smile on my face and went straight in there as if I was confident, and I actually did really well. I was flying. It was great meeting. I was dead pleased with it. Those sorts of things. I had a moment of self-doubt and I thought everybody was talking about me, and then I squashed it, put it down in its box where it needs to be, a big smile, and I spoke to everybody in the department. We had a laugh. Instead of withdrawing like I do normally, go quiet, go a bit sulky, start seeing negative things and making it a big reality that it in fact probably wasn't. So those sorts of things. So for confidence, it is brilliant to use, to record everything down. 10 things today I'm most proud of. Then you've got a record. When you have a real wobble, you can look back on your book and think, actually, I am making really good progress. I am a good person. I am confident. Come on, I need to get this back. It's there, it's written. You keep going, keep adding to it. So it's brilliant for that. It's also very handy for reducing stress, as I've said already. People that come to me for coaching because they just don't feel happy. Sometimes they'll say to me, I just want to find happiness. I just want to be happy. There's got to be more to life than this. How do I make myself happy? And so for them, amongst other things, don't get me wrong, this is not the only thing that we do, but amongst other things, as I've said, the work that goes on between the coaching one-to-one sessions will be perhaps the activity where I might ask them to write in their book, today I'm most grateful for. So it can also be about gratitude, because if we start noticing all the tiny things in life, it's lovely going for a walk and the daffodils were out. I really enjoyed that 15-minute walk at lunchtime. Simon in the department suggested we went for a walk into town to grab a sandwich, and actually we had a really nice chat. It was lovely to catch up with him. The weather was so good today, even though they said rain and wind. When I walked the dog, we had a break in that, and actually it was really, really pleasant. I thought it was going to be awful, and it turned out well. Any tiny things, they can be the smallest things, but if we focus on those small things, those are, by noticing those, by recognizing those and appreciating those small things in life, that's where we find happiness. A new car doesn't bring us happiness, not long term. A new house doesn't. A bit more money in our purse doesn't. A new outfit doesn't. It's all short-lived. What really brings us happiness is that's within. Noticing those people who mean a lot to us, enjoying time with them, enjoying time with ourselves and noticing what we like about ourselves, enjoying time in our life and noticing what we enjoy within our life. Those intrinsic values are much, much more happy inducing than those external factors of how many, whether we've got a better holiday, a better car, a better this, a better that, another this, another that. All the time we get those, yes, they might give us a temporary little boost, like scratching an itch, but it doesn't solve the problem, because then we want even more of a holiday, a longer holiday, an even more luxurious place, or an even better car, or even better house, or this outfit is lovely, but I need more outfits, more shoes. It's never enough, those external things. That's why we do need to focus on the internal things. So your notebook could either be just a general record of what you did today and how you felt, and you'll notice what makes good days and what makes bad days. It could be a record of the things you're most proud of that you've done today and build your confidence and your self-belief in yourself. Or it could be about what you're most grateful for in that day. Tiny things, focusing on that and seeing that there is good in your life, seeing where the joy and the happiness is. Because when we're down and depressed, we don't spot those. But this makes us look for them. Once we start spotting them, that lifts us. So for so many reasons, I would say a key takeaway from today is, if you haven't already got access to a lovely book that you feel drawn to, you love its cover, you love its size and shape, and a nice pen, or get a nice app on your iPad or whatever it is, and do this. Try and do this for 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. If it's on the train, if it's last thing at night, try and find, if it's at lunchtime, if it can't be in the evening, then grab those 10 minutes wherever you can. It could be in the morning when you're waiting for the kettle to boil before you make your first coffee or tea in the morning. It could be while you're running the bath. There are times where we can just grab a few minutes. It is such a wise investment. It's such a treat to buy yourself one of those books or whatever. Keep it in a safe place. Enjoy doing it. Get yourself in a nice, comfy, warm place and look forward to it. Enjoy it. And see what benefits it brings you. It will bring you benefits. That I can guarantee. So, key takeaway today is use the written word and do it for weeks and weeks. Do it forever. It's such a powerful thing to do. It's great for mindfulness, great for so many reasons. Please share your successes with me. If you feel like dropping me a message via the website, www.milestone-coaching.co.uk, or an email, direct email, dawn@milestone-coaching.co.uk. You can go through the website and press the contact me box, so you can do it that way. There are actually numerous ways you can do it. If you're following the Facebook page, if you go onto the website, you can follow me on the Facebook page and my confidence group, or you can follow me in various other places such as Twitter and things like that. So I'm going to wish you now a really strong, confident week. If you would like to have some coaching with me, even if it's just a one-off session to get you on track, then of course you can contact me, you can phone me, the telephone numbers are on the website, email me or whatever. We can do it via Skype, FaceTime, phone, or if you're local, and this is my preference, if you're local, then of course you could come and see me face to face, which really helps with rapport and trust. So equally, if you have a friend or a relative who you're worried about and you would like to treat them to coaching or encourage them to come coaching, then please contact me. There are free workshops coming up I don't know when you're going to hear this actually, at the time of recording, they're coming up in about 10 days or so. But keep an eye on the website, because they come up 3 or 4 times a year, and various other things. So there's lots on the website for you to have a look at. Have a little visit. Have a great week, and I'm really looking forward to talking to you on next episode of Life Coaching on the Move.